standards. And I would just encourage parents. I've said this before, and it usually isn't very popular, but if you have a junior high boy who has a laptop computer or a desktop or whatever, or access to a computer in the privacy of his own room, you may as well just buy hundreds and hundreds of pornographic magazines, stack them up in his closet, and say, hey, don't look at those, okay? Because, folks, that's how easy it is. Access on the internet to all of this stuff. I said this one time at this church, and a mother came up to me afterwards and said, I can't believe you said that. I trust my son, 7th grade son who had private access to the internet in his own room. I said, well, you know, I don't know how to say this, but I used to be a 7th grader, and I'll tell you right now that you think you're trusting your son, but in fact, you're abusing your son. You don't mean to, you don't think you are, but you could hand him a gun, and his life might turn out better than if you just let him go wherever he wants to go on the internet. We have in our church, not dozens, but cumulatively, hundreds of men who have become addicted to pornography, and for most of them, it started in junior high and high school, and these days, it's starting through internet access.
And so, Randy, you've done a lot of research on this stuff. Could you tell us, both men and women, what effect will pornography have in marriage and also for future marriage?
Well, it kills the heart. It makes somebody go nowhere in their relationship with God. They live under guilt. They live under oppression. And by the way, there is freedom from this bondage. And there's numbers of things going on at the church, things coming up, the different men's things that relate to purity. There's recovery groups. You can, if you are in bondage to it, you can break out of it. Right now, I'm talking about preventing some of it from happening in the first place. But consequences, when it goes into a marriage, a guy will compare his wife to the images, the airbrushed images that he has in his mind from years of being addicted to pornography. And she's never going to match up, and he's going to have eyes that are going to be always going to other women. And so the Blazer dancers come on, the Blazer cheerleaders, or whatever. And by the way, men, and young men included, if your eyes are on the Blazer dancers and the cheerleaders or whatever, you have to ask yourself, are you pleasing God when you're looking at them, and what is going through your mind? Unless you're wired differently than me and almost every man I know, certain thoughts are going through your mind as this, and this is why you should turn away, and you should not be watching. And fathers, set an example for your sons and for your daughters. I mean, I cannot emphasize this enough, how much damage we do to our own children who we love when we don't set the right example for them. It's not a casual, secondary, unimportant thing. It's something that the way of immorality, Proverbs tells us, leads to death. And the Father is saying, don't let it kill you. Don't let it trap you in the noose. It's going to take you down if you let yourself go that way. And as a loving Father, He's warning, and He's saying, son, don't go there. And He's setting the example for His son by not going there Himself.